Okay, day 7, 10 to 8 in the morning. We're just leaving Wudinna after a torrential downpour yesterday, last night, afternoon. Now look at the skies, beautiful. So we'll press on towards Port Augusta and maybe even beyond. That was a wonderful little hotel motel. Budget room I had, 90 bucks. Comfortable enough. Really hot water in the shower, and lovely meal last night in the hotel. Now I'll send out a mention to Merv French, who one of my subscribers on Facebook said, when are you going back out there? And I sent him a little message and said, hey Merv, I'm already out there, but you might have to wait a bit for the videos. Anyway, good on you, mate. Take it easy. This is for you, Connor. This is in a place called Wudinna. Port Augusta Park. Just through Wudinna, we have to turn left. That road goes straight down to Port Lincoln, and we're going to Port Augusta. Okay, well, from Wudinna, Port Augusta is 245 apparently. So that's what we'll be doing, and we'll be perhaps stopping for a coffee along the way. Bicyclists are very hard to see. Got a bit of fog ahead. See it right there on the horizon. Ooh. Misty, mysterious. Ooh. Like coming through the Wudinna ups the other year there. Foggy, foggy, foggy. I'm just coming up for a rest stop, but I don't think I'm not going to stop in the fog. I want the sun to be out. And it's too early anyway. It's only 8:30. It's very eerie. Because I know the sun's up above that big cloud, this fog bank. Obviously not strong enough to burn it off just yet. Slow-moving caravan. Because he's behind a huge truck. Look! A big wide load. Well, the police just let us go past, but I'm losing power. I'm getting the same symptoms that I had on that last aborted trip. All of a sudden, because I had to slow down and I come through the fog, I got no power again, and that means fuel. I've got to find somewhere to pull off, and apparently the next drop-off place is about 45 kilometres away. Shit, that's all I need. there's a fuel problem in this car. We're about 5k's from Kimber, and as you can see, the beast is now singing along, but I really had to nurse it for a few kilometres there. And this is really puzzling. I tried the mass airflow sensor, I cleaned that previously. It's had a new air filter, new oil filter. The only thing we put a new fuel filter in it some time ago, and that's what the Repco mechanics figured was wrong. They said that there was a loose fuel line. That was the first issue that I had when I had my aborted trip. But it's doing it again, and I'm just losing trust in the whole thing, because you can't, you come up behind a caravan. I had to plant my foot and there was no power coming whatsoever, but now it's cleared itself. So for how long, I don't know. So it looks like a full new set. I'm of a mind that I need to flush all of the fuel lines and try again. There might be sludge. The only other thing I haven't done on this trip is put fuel additive into the fuel. Sometimes I found that the fuel cleaner might actually have an effect, so I'll see if I can get some of that and dump some of that into the tank. There's the big galah. We're not stopping. to Port Augusta. They say there's no fuel, but I don't need fuel because I've got 3/4 of a tank. And just as it comes through there and you back off, I detect that I'm losing power when I really back off. I do think I'm blowing a lot of black smoke too somehow. There's a bit of a pall behind me. It looks like we're going to be driving into some rain or some more mist. Anyway, the car is singing along at 2,500 revs like right now, but I dare not lift my foot. This road is absolutely strewn with people on bicycles. Here's another one. And I just made them out because they were weaving on the road against the sun. What is it about these people? Are they some sort of masochists? We just passed the turn off to Wudinna, and over the back of me is Iron Knob, an iron ore mine. I'm 66 k's now from Port Augusta. There it is, spread out before us. Rain clouds. I looked at the forecast last night in the motel, and there's not supposed to be any rain. That sure looks like a few little showers out in the front to me. I don't have to mention, I suppose, that this is another stressful day with issues that I really don't understand, and neither do the mechanics, because I've had this issue for some time. intermittent, and that's the problem, I think. It's singing along, it's doing 2,500 revs, it seems to be fine. I've noticed it doesn't like towing things up hills, that's for sure, we know that. It's lacking power. When I had that aborted trip up the north of WA that time, I had to keep blipping the accelerator to keep the revs going. And you know, there's all sorts of theories. It could be the mass airflow sensor, it could be the fuel filter, it could be blockage in the fuel line, it could be water in the fuel. There's another thing that a young fellow who has a YouTube channel who's called Rube's Modifications, and he actually suggested one time that there is another sensor underneath or in towards the gearbox some way that can have an effect on what I'm doing. And when I get to Ryan's, I will hopefully get on the internet and I'll see if I can locate that video again. I discussed it with Finn, my mechanic, at one stage. He wasn't aware of it, but he, you know, as mechanics do, he would be interested, I guess. But I never ever heard anything back from it. But I'm a bit concerned now because when I get to Port Augusta, I have to go across towards, I'll say Hawker, but it's not, it's over towards Peterborough, and you go through some hills. And I don't want the same issue because I need the power to tow this thing up a hill. Anyway, I will keep you informed, no doubt. Over behind me there is a whole heap of army vehicles. I hope that's coming out. Connor, have a look at that. Tanks. Whoa, yeah, baby. They must be getting ready for an invasion. Did you see them all? I don't know if I got army trucks. Yoo-hoo! Oh yeah, carrying APCs, personnel carriers. Looks like another one. Yep. They must be stockpiling their APCs back at that big depot I just passed. Right now I'm about 24 kilometres from Port Augusta, and I just pulled off just before I turned left to go up to Port Augusta. And I opened the bonnet and I went to tighten a fuel line, and I found that there was the pressure in the fuel filter was way low, and I took my screwdriver and started to tighten a bolt which was quite tight on one of those threaded clamps, hose clamps, and fuel came on my fingers. So I thought, well, was that letting the pressure off or not? It doesn't seem to have really fixed very much, although I just drove off and it was cough, cough, splutter, splutter, and it's gone back to now sitting on its 2200 revs on the main highway at an indicated 100 k's an hour, which is only 93. But this is a real puzzle. This is a real puzzle. It's certainly fuel, well, I don't know, it appears to be fuel related. So I'm going to see if I can find either a mechanic or a Repco service and buy some bits and pieces. I can't keep going like this. Australia is a great big place, and it's also a very small place. You wouldn't believe it, but when I pulled up to check the fuel, I pulled up behind a caravan which was registered in Victoria, and as I pulled the bonnet up, a guy came out and he said, "Are you all right, mate?" And I said, "Oh yeah, I was just having issues, blah blah blah." And I just sort of said, "Oh no, I suspect that it's, 'It's, 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 ' I was relating. I said, oh, I've had this problem before. I said, I left Albany, and he said, oh, Albany. He said, do you know Graham Whittaker? And I laughed, and I said, well, as a matter of fact, I said, I bought this beast from Graham Whittaker. I said, and I also bought my previous Land Rover Bob from the same bloke. Oh, he said, yeah, good mate of mine. He said, I haven't lived in Albany for a long time, he said, but anyway. So we chatted a little bit more, and then I said, where are you from? I said, I see you're in Victoria. He says, oh, you come from Gippsland. And I said, oh, that's strange, isn't it? He said, yeah. And I said, I lived in a place called Hayfield. Oh, he said, Hayfield? Yeah, he said, know it well. So it's a small place. There's everybody driving around here, and you wouldn't have a clue who they are, and yet you probably know somebody that they did. There is a theory that says there's 7 people, seven removed or something, where if you talk to 7 people, you will find somebody that they know who is a mutual acquaintance, if you like. We live in a weird world. Weird little world it is, but that little trailer there, he just kicked up a whole heap of damn little stones. I hope I didn't get another chip. I've got 2 chips in my windscreen now, I realise. Anyway, progress report. Since I tightened that little fuel line, touched my wooden head, it's singing along. It's sitting at 2,500 revs, but I don't trust it. Well, we're going over the bridge into Port, well, we're in Port Augusta now, but we're going over the bridge, and my next trek is to find either a Repco or an auto barn or a super cheap auto, where I would desire to purchase a few little bits and pieces, even if I can't get a new fuel filter. A hose clamp and a piece of hose being one of the things that I'd like to get, but I need somewhere to pull up now so that I can study the phone and the map and see where these shops may be located, if they have them at all. Well, here's an interesting story. After I stopped at Auto One, put a new fuel hose and clamps and things on it, it didn't really improve anything. I decided not to put the filter on. Anyway, I thought, I'll just make it for Orroroo. I bought some diesel injector cleaner. I put that in there. And as I was driving along the highway, still trying to gain speed, this guy flagged me down called Roger. And he said, oh, this mechanic. He said, ever heard of injector cleaner? And I said, yeah, just put some in. Oh, okay. He said, I said, where are you going? I actually pulled off onto this particular dirt road. And he said, this will take you all the way through to, you know, to the highway if you keep going. He says, it's a bit rough. He said, but give your engine a real tanking. So, of course, I did that, and now I've got this incredible knocking noise. And also, I'm pouring black smoke out of the back. He said that it would clean itself if I gave it a tanking, which is what I'm doing. But I had to actually do a U-turn. I'm heading back towards Port Augusta because this car was just making all sorts of really weird rattling noises, like I'm about to blow something up. Now, of course, I'm in 3rd gear at 3,000 revs. I can't actually hear that rattle, but it sounded awfully like a timing chain. Maybe it's the gearbox. Can't be. You know what? I think it is. I think it's the gearbox, because I put it into 4th gear, and I've had an issue with 4th gear. I'm still throwing, oh, this is terrible, I'm throwing smoke out of here badly. That's why he actually came up behind me and tooted, and I stopped. Well, I managed to get back to Port Augusta, and this is my camp spot for the night. Actually, it's the camp spot for the next 2 nights. I'm kidding. I'm at the Sip and Save Motel, Motel, the Pastoral Hotel Motel, which is that building over there, and that's a drive-in bottle shop. And this is a huge car park, fortunately for me. And over the back and down in that direction is a mechanic. Now, as we all know, bad things always happen at the weekend because nothing is open. So I booked into this motel for 2 nights. We'll go inside, and here I have this nice room, but I can only get it for 2 nights as far as we know. And there is a mechanic, apparently. I'm just locking the door. There's a mechanic 240 metres away, which the girl at the reception of that hotel said to me is very, very good, but very, very busy. So I have to wait until tomorrow, to Monday morning. It's now Saturday, and I will then go beg and on my hands and knees to see if this guy can actually have a look at my car. From then, I will make a decision. Now, Ryan was very helpful. Thank you, Ryan. He sent me a whole list of addresses and phone numbers for things in Port Augusta, mainly because my phone wouldn't pick any of this stuff up because I don't have an internet connection. Why do I pay Telstra all that money? I really sometimes wonder, but nobody at Telstra will ever give me an answer. Anyway, to cut a long story short, let's turn this into another adventure, because it could cost me thousands, or it might cost me just a few hundred. I don't know. But come Monday morning, I will be on the phone to Cootsy's Automotive, that is one of the people that Ryan found, and also the receptionist, as I mentioned, who gets her car serviced there, who says the guy is very good. So I will go and ask him and see if he can do something with the car. I also, the girls told me at the reception that I may not be able to stay here on the Monday night because they may not have a vacancy. But there are a couple of other alternatives. But this is really nice. It's a lovely little place, the hotel, as you can, well, I'll turn around, you can actually have a look. And this room is very good because it's right next to where the car is. And if I can stay here, I can actually disconnect the trailer, put a clamp lock on it, and it would be outside if I can have this room, even if it's for a week. Right, there's the bathroom, look at that. No, that's not bad. That's got TV, look. Crikey. Hey Ryan, I might not come to Brisbane at all. I might just stay here. No, I'm kidding. You have to actually laugh. Oh. If you don't laugh, you'll cry, right? Or you'll go. But, as I said to Kay before I left, I said, look, I always expect the worst. Like, things might happen. You take all your toolkit and everything. Hopefully, you'll never need to use them. Unfortunately, on this trip, I've actually used my toolkit. So, that's actually a bonus. So, I'm in limbo land at the moment, and I'm sure this is going to make for great viewing on the YouTube channel, because all you people are going to say, oh, what happens next? Well, moi doesn't know, but I will certainly let you know as soon as I know. So for now, adios. Okay, it's Sunday morning. I think it's the 7th. It is the 7th of May, and this is an update on the beast. I spent the night here at the Pastoral Hotel Motel in room 13. Kay, the lovely Kay, put out a Facebook plea for people to recommend mechanics here in Port Augusta, and she sent me a number of a fellow called Harry who answered the distress call within the hour and appeared here. We lifted the bonnet and he put his computer on it and said, "I suspect that you've got a stuck EGR valve. My premises are down the road there behind, on that road down there, 600 metres away." He said, "Bring it down in the morning and we'll have a look. We'll pull it apart and get it going again." So there it is, it's sitting now unhooked. I put a clamp on the trailer. Hopefully I'll be able to get another a night here in this motel. They were a bit dubious yesterday when I booked in for the 2 nights. They said, "Well, we're not sure," but I did speak to the cleaner ladies this morning and they said the reason for their hesitancy was they were expecting painters to come in. But I think money speaks louder than painters, so I should be okay in the morning, and I might just have another night here and see how Harry gets on. I will, of course, keep you all informed. Well, I did promise an update, and it's now Monday the 8th of May. I took the car to Harry. He got in and we started, well, it was very much smoking when I took it down there. He got in with his torch and had a good look around, and it appears now that we have a cracked exhaust manifold. So that involves stripping half the engine down and replacing said manifold. There could be problems with studs that may get stuck or even broken. So what we've done is I've said, "Harry, it has to get fixed. Go ahead and do it." I've booked in here to the motel for another 5 nights to give ample time to get spare parts up here, if necessary, and also to get the job done. I'm extremely fortunate because I did phone and email other mechanics in the area, all who have very good reputations, I might add. And each one of them is absolutely tied up. And the last one that I went to, he actually said, "Oh, there's a new fellow in town called Harry." And I said, "Well, he's the guy that actually is going to be looking at the car." And I was just hedging my bets because I thought if there's more things that he can't handle, perhaps I need to book in for somewhere else. But, you know, they said, no, he's a very competent fellow. So I've left it in Harry's hands. I moved out of the room 13 into room 11. And the people here in Port Augusta, and in particular Harry and the people in the hotel, are absolutely wonderful. In fact, they did, I'll say this between you and me, they gave me a cut rate for the 5 nights, which I wasn't expecting and didn't ask for. So that's the measure of the people. And, you know, I can be quite comfortable here. I have everything that I really need. It's just that I have to now spend a little bit more time than I anticipated. So there probably won't be any more videos until I get back on the road in 5 days' time. It might be less, I don't know. But anyway, as they say, these things are sent to try us, and try me they are. But we shall overcome. I will get back to you as soon as I can. I'm walking back from Coles to the hotel. And this building here, the grey one, is the train station for the Pitchy Ritchie train. And it's a heritage listed train, apparently, which only runs at the weekend. And over there's the railway tracks. But interesting, I'll read about it in a minute. There we are. The Pitchy Ritchie Railway Heritage Train Journeys. You can scan those QR codes if you want further details, but apparently it only runs at the weekend. It closed in 1956. It was built in the 1870s. And in 1974, the Pitchy Ritchie Railway Preservation Society restored the line between Corn and Port Augusta. So it goes between Corn and Port Augusta. Fantastic. And in the station, of course, there are the murals the murals. We'll just do a quick one across here, and then you come out onto the station platform proper. And there's a gentleman over there doing some work, and we'll spin round, and here we have the station. Look at that. That's a little bit, and then on this wall we have a mural which probably depicts the Afghan cameleers in this country. And then the shearers, good old shearers. Look at that. And there's the train. Beautiful. Fantastic murals. And here's another view at the end of the platform. And obviously the trains can't go any further here, otherwise they hit that wall. Now over there on the corner is the Pastoral Hotel Motel. You can see underneath the trees a fellow in a bright orangey red jacket with the yellow sign as the drive-in, and that's where I have been taking my evening meal. And this is the hotel proper over here, and I'll get a little better view of it from the front because it's a lovely old building. It's a classic old building. The black paint on the uprights could do with a little bit of a scrape down. There might be a little bit of concrete cancer in there. And over in the background, behind that little sign, you'll see the building with all of the solar panels on it. That's the motel. And now I'm currently resiled in room 11. So this is the entry that I normally go into, but I don't gamble. But inside there is all of the machines, the slot machines, and I'm walking across to my room. And you can see in the distance the camper trailer. Sans Nissan. But we hope it won't be for too long and we can hook it back up and get on the road. Here I'm going across to room 11. Which is that one there. Okay, well here is the offending manifold, and there's a crack in there. The gentleman's just shining the torch in. You won't be able to see it, but it's certainly cracked, and we're still waiting for the part, but it'll get here. But the job is getting done, so it should be fine. This is the exhaust manifold that came off the car, and you can clearly see this cracking in there, and that has been the cause of the misfiring and lack of power, but it had only been sporadic, so obviously there was there was fuel issues, I believe, but anyway, that's the offending piece. I was just watching a train come through. This is the main Adelaide Port Augusta line, but the Garn train also comes through on this line apparently, all the way up to the Territory. So it's a fairly major rail hub. It is a major rail hub in South Australia. Anyway, this is looking down the tracks of the Pitchy Ritchie Railway, and also the main line up from Adelaide. And over here is the Wudinna Outback Centre. I'm in the Outback Centre, but there's not much happening. This is just another little view of the Outback Centre. There's not an awful lot happening in there, as you can see. Cafe is doing good trade. And behind that building there is the Coles shopping centre. And then we have a park, the name of which has now escaped me, but I did know it yesterday. I'll find out, put it up on the screen as a caption. Coles is over there behind that building. Lovely little park this. Very nice. Nice touch for a sculpture. It's quite a pretty little city, actually, Port Augusta. There's the Hotel Flinders across the road. And down here, at the end of the street, is a Woolworths. As I was walking down the street, I was just trying to remember, I have been here before, a few years ago. And I was just familiarising myself. As soon as I came down here to the waterfront, it all came back. That's the bridge over which I came with a pall of black smoke. Over here behind the fence is the Woolworths, and the main street down there, Commercial Road, I believe. Pretty. It looks like the wharf is probably a little bit under repair. Here's some people with their dogs. I was in that big Woolworths, Big W, some time ago. Probably buying gas canisters for a cooker. A little mooring pontoon for boats that come up this far to the very end of the Spencer Gulf. There's a big yacht in the background. And this over here looks like a skate park. Wave. Yeah, I'm down at the workshop and it's Friday the 12th, I believe, of May. And I was hoping that this thing is going to be ready today, but 9:30 in the morning, nothing much appears to be getting done. I can't find the owner, Harry. He's taken a test drive somewhere. Anyway, I'll wait until he comes back and we'll find out what's happening. This is how far away I am from everything. Melbourne 1046, Adelaide 318, Darwin 2735, Perth 2484 and Alice Springs 1220 k's. Down at the end of this road, which behind me leads up to McDonald's and the main highway, there's a sign that says Port Augusta Car Sales or Augusta Car Sales, and that is where I'm heading, because that is where the beast is right now at the doctor's. Well, that is a good sound. That's a car engine running. Yay! Well, that's a sight I didn't think I'd see for a while. Well, I did. And so it's almost ready, we think. I've got to get the report, but the oil filter is being changed over here. Now there is a sight for sore eyes. I've just brought the thing back to the motel where I will stay overnight, and we'll hook the trailer up in the morning and we'll go for a bit of a spin.